Monday for me. I want to know if it feels like a Monday for you too. My kids were home yesterday for distance learning, and because of that, it just felt like a Monday today, even though it's totally not a Monday. So happy Tuesday. If your Monday was normal, you're already 2 days in, my friend. So hello, hello. Feel free to put a little hashtag hello lovely in the comments below. It's just a way to wave and say hi to me as we are here on the interwebs, and things are just a little different now. So feel free to say hi. I'm going to be doing some makeup and just chatting and catching you up to snuff. In case you didn't know, I fell down the stairs on Easter and I severely hurt my knee. Like severely hurt it. I'm hoping it was just a sprain and not a tear, but I do probably need to go get some MRIs and stuff done to make sure that it was not a tear, but it's my MCL, basically the inside of your knee ligament. MCL is a ligament, and it just really, really hurts. So I am not in good shape right now, and I'm like hobbling along, but you know, I talk about it all the time. When you're feeling low or down, whether emotionally or physically, if you have the ability to shower, do your hair, do a little makeup, put on a color or a shirt or a dress that makes you happy, sometimes those little things can really help elevate your spirit. So I'm taking a page out of my own book today and am trying to become one with the living. So I hope that you yourself are having a lovely day. And thanks, as always, for coming on. And we got our friends on Instagram. Hi, Cyan and Catherine and Karen. How are you? I'm using my spray foundation today, so hold on a second. Gotta shake it up. I'll shake it up down here so it's not as abrasive for the sound for you guys. There we go. I've already primed my face. So primer, you need to let it sit on your face for like 2 to 5 minutes. That really allows it to fill in the pores and the fine lines and creates a really nice base for your foundation to go on top of. If you use face primer but you don't let it sit, it's just going to mix in with your foundation and not really do its job. So we do want to make sure that we are doing all those things. Hi, Karen on Facebook. Thank you so much for the hashtag hello lovely. So I'm just going to take my spray foundation, spray it a little bit on my kabuki brush right here, as I'm getting my hair all in my face, and let's go to town. So you can see I've got all these freckles, which I love. I love me some freckles, but I'm actually going to be trying out some different foundation techniques for a wedding that I'm going to be officiating in like 2.5 weeks, which is another reason why my knee needs to get better. I don't want to be hobbling around as I'm officiating a wedding. So it's funny, like, you know, I went through a phase in my mid to late 20s, early 30s, where I just felt like I had a bajillion weddings. Can you let me know if this happened to you too? Like, you just felt like all your friends were getting married, or they were having babies, and they were having like baby showers, but I felt like I was getting ready regularly for big events, you know, for weddings and all this kind of stuff. So this is just like a light coating, and you can see the difference between these two sides on this face. I'm just going to blend it a little bit down here. Perfect. So yeah, I'm just kind of out of practice. I'm out of practice when it comes to doing my makeup for wedding purposes, and, you know, just the longevity and knowing kind of the order that I want to have it in. So I'm just going to be trying out different foundations and then blushes and some simple eyeshadows, because since I'm also an officiant at this wedding, I don't necessarily want to have anything like belle of the ball. You know what I mean? I don't need to be a showstopper. I don't want to necessarily have my bold red lip or anything like that. I want to be pulled together and be classy and pretty, but I don't necessarily want to stand out. So that is part of what I'm going to be doing. But yeah, it's going to be really, really fun. Hi, Rachel. Good morning to you too. Thanks for tuning in. So I really love our spray foundation. It is nice and light and airy. It has amazing coverage, and normally I love to let my freckles shine. I'm a huge BB cream girl. I'm a very like minimalist when it comes to makeup every day. I mean, often I'm not even really wearing that much makeup. I might wear a little concealer and mascara and a lip color, and then I'm good to go. Like, I sometimes just all over skip foundation because my skincare has been so good. But when you're thinking about weddings and wedding makeup, you do want to amp up the coverage and just kind of do some different things there. So this shade looks like it might be a bit more of my tan shade. I have what are called neutral undertones. So if you look to my neck has a bit more yellow and pink, whereas my décolletage, this area on your upper chest, it has a bit more pink pulling in it. So when we match for your color matching of your makeup, we need to take everything into consideration, your face, your neck, your chest, because you don't want to have like a makeup line. You know what I mean? You don't want your foundation to be so dark that it looks like it doesn't match your face, nor do you want it to be too warm or cool toned. So I'm just putting a little bit of that foundation on my upper eyelid. I am going to be going over that a bit with some concealer. So let me know how everyone's weekend was. As I said, I kind of feel like today's Monday because my kids are home for distance learning. It just kind of felt like it was all one big long weekend, which is pretty good. Hi Dee on Instagram. How are you, my friend? So I'm going to take a little bit of concealer and brighten up in this inner eye area. Oh, here's what I was looking for. My mirror. Shouldn't leave home without a mirror, right? My knee is not great, Rachel. Thank you for asking. It's not great. So yeah, I fell down the stairs. I'm just using the smallest amount. Can you guys see? I'm like barely touching my under eye with the concealer. And now I'm going in with my finger, or actually I might go in with like a damp blending bud. I just kind of want to cover this first area with my finger first. Hi Jolene, thanks for the hashtag. Hello lovely. Hope you're doing well, my friend. So yeah, the knee situation, I had a really good fall. I was like Humpty Dumpty. I did not get back up easily. And I sprained my knee. I think it is my MCL. So my knee went the wrong way, and it's just been not great. So I actually put a phone call in this morning to my primary doctor as I saw a urgent care doctor when I got my knee checked out. And the urgent care doctor was like, here, wear this brace, take these anti-inflammatories to 2 weeks. If it's not better, come back. We need to do an MRI, and then we need to do some physical therapy. Yay! Awesome, Dee. That's so great. Have fun for lunch with your friends. So I'm going to take a little bit more concealer, and I'm going to share with you another approach that I have with a damp blending bud with some setting spray. So you just take your damp blending bud, spray it a little bit with setting spray, and this is how you make your concealer like crease-proof all day long. So if you're someone who has fine lines or crow's feet or crepiness under your skin, you need to get yourself a damp blending bud, which you can get at like the dollar store or Target or Amazon. Really, they're all the same. Just don't spend loads of money on it, please, if it's not within your budget. But get yourself some setting spray and spray it on that bud, and then you use that to really help blend and press in the concealer in your face. And you do this for honestly like a minute if you can. If you can't, don't worry about it. But to me, I'm trying to see what I can do for like hardcore foundation that's going to last me all day. It's going to last me while I cry at this wedding. So I'm trying out like wedding approved makeup tips. All right. So I'm just lightly pouncing, but what it's doing is it's pushing that concealer into my skin, into also mixed with that setting spray. And it's really making sure that it sets the concealer. It kind of takes away any and all of its tackiness, and it's just going to stay put. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. You can go and use more. You can highlight more and go a lot brighter. For me, this is kind of the look that I like to go for. I just kind of want to brighten up a little bit below my eyes. I'm not trying to be like hardcore, you know, white under my eyes, but this is more my kind of look. If anything, I want to touch right there. You can see how I've got a little bit of the darkness. That's really just the physical aspect of my bag, but this is why I love to use this concealer, and I do a little bit at a time, and it's buildable. You don't want to gob this on. This isn't something that you just like hardcore paint on your face and like hope you can blend it out from there. Little goes a long way. Jolene says, MCL is super painful. I blew out my knee, MCL, ACL, and meniscus, and the MCL pain was the worst. Huge. Oh my gosh. Well, I'm sorry that all happened to you, Jolene, but I am happy to hear that MCL pain is bad because I feel like a baby. I'm not someone who's frequently hurt or injured or sick or all this stuff, and I am in pain. Like I am really, really tired throughout the day, but particularly at night. And I was explaining it to Blake. I said, I think it's because my body is in constant pain with this knee injury that I can like keep it together for myself or the kids or the family, but after a while it's just been so taxing that I've been super, super tired, and I've been blaming my knee, but that makes sense. So you can see I just took a little bit of that concealer, really focusing on the inner corner of my eye where I have a lot of discoloration. So yes, I'm hoping that I can see my primary doctor or get some MRIs. I just want to make sure it's a sprain and not a tear. And then I want to start working with a physical therapist to see what activities I should be doing. Because I'm antsy. I'm an extrovert. I like to be moving and shaking and doing things. I also don't necessarily love that I'm being sedentary right now for a myriad of reasons. It's just, it's not great to be so sedentary. So if I'm not supposed to be on my knee that much, I'll understand and I'll listen to the doctor. But if on the flip side, I'm supposed to be walking maybe 15 minutes a day, or I can use my bike or something, not hardcore, but just enough to kind of like work it out a little bit, then I want to do it. But I haven't been doing any physical activity this past week because I don't want to mess anything up. I don't want to aggravate it or make it more swollen. So once again, I brightened on the inner corner and I'm just touching like ever so lightly on areas where I do want a little bit more coverage. Please do the physical therapy. It's hard, but it makes a difference with returning your knee to prior health to your tumble. Oh, thank you so much. I will. I'm definitely going to do it, Jolene. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And Catherine on Instagram says, yes, pain is exhausting, right? I just haven't had like long-term pain, so I didn't realize how taxing it is on my body until now. So for those of you who live with chronic pain, I am so sorry. I mean, I've been sorry in general, and I've always, it's one of those things, it's kind of like how I feel with my miscarriage. Like you can be sorry and you can, your heart goes out to the people, but it's something, obviously, when you can experience something yourself and, you feel it within you and it happens in your own life, it's a whole different story. So I'm just going to take a little drop of this concealer down the center of my nose, Cupid's bow, and chin. This is highlighting the center of my face once again. Gloria says, I have an MCL tear and had to go to physical therapy and then have surgery. The pain is awful. Your primary doctor will probably refer you to an orthopedic. I'll take whatever I can get. If I can get an orthopedic, if I can get a physical therapist, I will take anything right now because this is out of control. And I don't want to make it worse, so I want to go out and play with my kids outside and do all the things, but on the flip side, if I'm not supposed to be doing those things, I want to be told by somebody so I can stay safe. Stay safe. So right now, hi Kim, how are you on Instagram? Good to see you. So right now what I've done is I've done my foundation, I did my primer, I did my concealer, and as I said, for those of you who have concealer for under your eyes, less is more. Get a little damp blending bud. Best of all, spray it with some setting spray and just do this little pounce. Do this little pounce until your concealer is no longer tacky and it's been set with that setting spray, and it's going to make a world of difference when it comes to your under eyes. The other thing you can do, thank you Tony, is you can take a smidge of setting powder. If you have crepiness, fine lines, dry skin, the number one thing I can tell you is that you really want to make sure that you're using an eye cream and you're hydrating underneath there. So I'm going to take a little bit of setting powder and lightly just put a little bit on there. I'm going to actually take a dry blending bud to do this. Just dry blending bud, just the bud of the bud. The butt of the bud. All right, and I'm just going to lightly press it right there. And this is going to help dull some of the shine. Okay, because shine will show your texture, so it'll show the physical bag, but I don't want to bake it. I don't want to make it dry. I don't want to soak up all the hydration that's there. I have the best hacks and tips for makeup. Yay! Thank you, Rachel. Oh my gosh, likewise, girl. I learn a lot from you too. Hi, Jennifer on Facebook. How are you? So I'm just using a little bit, once again, pressing it in. Pressing it in, it's going to really help make sure that it sets that concealer, mattifies it a little bit, because even if you like a dewy face, you ideally want to have under your eyes a little bit, either get rid of the tackiness of the concealer with your ring finger, with the blending bud or whatever. And if you can, sometimes it's just trial and error. You're going to find some things that work for you and some things that don't. But for me right now, I'm finding this with just a little bit of that setting powder, and I just press it in. But it's a super light amount. I'm not trying to get cakey or anything like that. Not trying to do that baking method that people who don't have all the issues that my skin is starting to have deal with. All right, now I'm going to go in with a little bit of pressed powder just to set this makeup. You do not have to. Once again, I am trying out things that are going to work for a wedding. So know that my base face, I'm having multiple layers for a reason. When you really want to have extended wear with your makeup, you want to have a bit fuller coverage, if you're going to be photographed and stuff, you do things differently than you do every day. Am I right? Am I right? You just do things differently. So I'm looking for organza. I used it, I think, on Blake. I did makeup on my husband, God bless him, this weekend because we were just doing it for our patrons. Here it is. And he was a trooper. But he's organza. So I did lace spray foundation, and now I'm going to go over it a little bit with some organza pressed powder. I could just do lace as well, but for me, I just wanted to add a little bit more pinky to my face. All right, so I'm just taking a fluffy brush and setting this foundation. Whenever you do a cream or a liquid-based foundation, if you want to mattify it, you can just take a little light dusting of your pressed powder. My pressed powder is something that I believe every person who wears makeup should have, okay? It comes with a mirror, comes with a little sponge. You can pop it in your bag, do touch-ups throughout the day. It builds beautifully either by itself if you want full coverage matte makeup, or you can use it like how I'm using it right now, just to set the foundation, to give it more of that matte look, to amp up a little bit of coverage if you'd like without a full face of just powder. My BB cream friends, this is like the perfect companion to your BB cream because there's going to be some days where you want to have a bit more matte or a bit more full coverage, and this will accomplish it for you. That was so fun to watch, says Rachel, about the makeup for Blake. He did so great and couldn't stop looking at himself. He was all about it. He really was. Well, I mean, and that's how it is for anybody when you do makeup on somebody who normally doesn't wear makeup. They're like, this is still my face? Like, how did this happen? But I think he was floored by the foundation because Blake, of course, he washes his face with like Irish Spring or something. Even though I try to tell him to not do that, he does his own thing. I'm taking a shade that is obviously a few shades darker than my skin. I'm going to do a little bit of a contour with this. But, he thought it was really fun. He's a good trooper. All right, so I'm going to take a little bit of that darker shade, and I'm going to go underneath this cheekbone. So we'll see. We'll see how everything pans out with this knee. I'm really hopeful, but I just don't want to mess anything up. I don't want to go for walks daily or go sit on my bike or just push myself too much when in actuality that could just be prolonging this pain that I'm dealing with. But on the flip side, I don't want to be, doing what I'm doing, just hanging out and not being active and having that be an issue. So I obviously am not a doctor. So I need to get a professional's opinion, and I'm being a little impatient, but it's now been a week and a couple of days, so I'm ready. I'm ready to make some moves, both figuratively and literally. Irish Spring, that's what I used before I met you, right? Right, Tommy? It smells so good. I mean, I've got no problem with it, like, for the rest of the body. It's a deliciously smelling soap, very, very fresh with the, like, nice little musk. But, yeah, he's been using that on his face. So his pores and his redness, like his skin just isn't that great right now because he's been washing it with a face wash. So what I've done is I've kind of just been working in this under cheekbone area and around my forehead. I've kind of just messily put it there with a smaller brush just for placement. And then I'm just going to get my bigger brush, lightly pat it on there. I almost like to, if you don't need your mirror, if it's not like your everyday foundation, I like to just kind of push my brush in there to make sure that it's dispensed throughout the entire brush. Because sometimes when you plop it, it might just hit like the tips, but if you go like this, it'll really help make sure that it's all over the brush. And now I use this more as like the bronzing. So contouring will slim your face, and when you do medium to fuller coverage like I'm doing today, you do want to add in that coloring and that dimension back to your face, or else you just look like a piece of paper, like flat, very, very flat. This will add the angles back in that dimension. Leah says, is that powder tinted? So yes, this one that I'm wearing right now, Leah, is it's a pressed powder foundation, and it's a few shades darker than my normal foundation. I'm using this as like a contouring bronzing kind of shade right now. My regular setting powder is not tinted, and that's just to set your makeup. So hopefully that helps. Oh, thanks, Jolene. I love that tip too for eyeshadows. So if you're using your eyeshadow brush and you want to really make sure that it's all over the entire brush, just kind of swirl it you know, around, not necessarily in the product itself. You're not trying to pick up tons of the product, but get a little product on it and then swirl it somewhere so that it really gets on all those bristles. It makes a big, big difference. And then you're actually using the whole brush, you know, rather than it just being placed with just a little bit of concentrated product right there. All right, so I've warmed up my face, I've contoured it a little bit. If you're trying to contour your neck, you can do that. Just be careful in regards to like your clothes and stuff. But you can even take a little bit of that darker shade, your bronzer or your contouring shade, and kind of contour your neck a little bit. It's gonna make it look like your neck's a little thinner. Amazing difference in my skin using the good stuff, says Tony on Instagram, meaning like her skincare. And she used her actual skincare products. It made a huge, huge, huge difference. All right, so speaking of huge difference, I'm a believer in blush. And this month, April, at minutewithmary.com, I have a special on blush, lip gloss, and eyeshadow. Just all the finishing touches to help you zhuzh up your look, whether it's your everyday look that you want to add a little color to, or maybe like me, you finally have a wedding to attend in the near future. So this right here, it's my go-to shade right now. It's called Stunning. You might look at it and be like, dang girl, that is bright. It's not that bright once it's on. It's buildable. You can also see that I've been using the mirror on this one to once again do that little pat to make sure that it's all over my brush. So I just lightly go like that, make sure it's all dispersed over the bristles. And blush placement changes over time. If you have been putting on your blush the same way that you did when you were 16, 20, 21, 28, 38, whatever, I want you to try some new things, okay? You can obviously just go to Google and check out blush placement. We want to figure out your face shape. I can help you there. You can actually do a online, I have like a virtual beauty try-on room where a program on my site will actually scan your face, whether you're holding the camera or you upload a picture, and it can tell you your face shape. So depending upon your face shape will be a good barometer for where ideally you'll want to be placing your blush. But that doesn't mean you have to listen to it. Doesn't mean that. For me, I've been loving putting it on the higher point of my cheekbone, blending it up almost like around here in like a C, but I still do like to have some concentrated color here. It's just how I've been liking it, particularly now with spring. Oh, thank you so much, Eddie. Hope you're doing well. So this is, once again, I start kind of in that what would be kind of like the apple of my cheek, but I'm not smiling. And I bring it up on that high point of the cheekbone and then around the brow. So this is all just a little bit of self-care for me. A little bit of self-care while I'm dealing with this pained knee, but it's all good. I do have, I'm saying a lot, apologize. I do have a training going on, a virtual training, and it's just been making me feel so much better. Trust me, I do a lot of virtual trainings in my sweatshirts, hair up in a bun. I once did a Zoom meeting with my board, my wind ensemble board, with a towel on my head. I was trying the curly girl method, and it wasn't a towel, but it was like a t-shirt. I was just trying to do something, and I didn't realize that it was going to be a video on Zoom. Have you guys ran into this where you don't know it's a video on Zoom, and then suddenly it is, and you are not ready for it. You are not ready. All right, so there's that little blush. You see what I mean? So it's not as strong as it looks in the pan, and it's buildable. If you want it to be that strong, you obviously can, but I'm someone who just likes a little bit and blend it. I'm all about the blending, but just adds that pop of color that you really love this time of year. So adding it in, especially now that we get to like go outside. I don't know how much outside time I get to have with my sprained knee, but I'm going to get out there. I'm going to get out there and do some things at some point. All right, so we've got the blush on. We've got some eyeshadow stuff I want to share with you. So my eyeshadows are on sale this month. What happens is you get a lip gloss, a blush, and an eyeshadow of your choice at 21% off. You can also add on a mascara if you're due for a new mascara. So if you bought your mascara before Christmas, Christmas or before, it's time for a new one anyway. I'm trying to find the eyeshadow that I want. No, why can't I find it? The one that I want to share with you. Oh dear. Oh dear. We'll see. It's Optimistic for those of you who know my shadows. Maybe I could do this one's close to it. Yeah, I might use that one. What I love about eyeshadows is that you can utilize them not just for your eyes. You can also, here it is. Here it is. You can also use it for other purposes. So here's Optimistic. It's a pearly white shade, and I'm going to do a couple of fun things with it. I need to clean up my eyeshadow boxes, that's for sure. they have been through a lot recently. Okay, so first, eyeshadow. Just regular eyeshadow. You can use any of your brushes. You can even use your fingers. When you do a light shade like this, don't be afraid. No matter your age, do not be afraid of shadows that have shimmer. It means that they're catching the light, okay? So I'm actually going to share with you how you can take a shade like this and not be too afraid of it and make it work for you. You can use your bronzing shade as a transition shade, but if you just want to do one thing alone, I'm just going to take a fluffy crease brush and I'm going to use it to highlight under my brow. So this kind of gives you like a little eye lift by highlighting right here, right where that brow bone is. See that? Super pretty. Then I'm going to go in and I'm going to do this inner circle area right here to kind of highlight and brighten that tear duct area. You can also use your finger for this. And last, I'm going to do a little swipe right here above the iris of my eye, and I'll pat it so it's not super, super strong. That's going to help open things up. See how pretty? Not hardcore, right? You don't need to have like massive skills, 20 different brushes. You can even do this placement with your fingers. So this, once again, is the shade Optimistic. So I'll do it again over here. So you can see the brow bone right there. And I'll just back and forth, nice and light with this light brush, or you can use your finger. And this gives you a lift to your brows. So if your eyes have gotten a little saggy over time, or just naturally that's how they've been, that helps. This right here in this inner corner tear duct area, it's going to make your eyes look more awake. It's going to bring more attention to them and pop. So particularly if you're still in a masked area, this is still going to make your eyes really pop from behind your mask, which is nice. Haven't tried the tear duct placement yet. I love the tear duct placement. I even sometimes really pick it up with my finger so it super pops. You can even get a white pencil. But it's like, it's one of the best things you can do, Julian, is to try this move out right here. And then I'll do a little bit right above that iris area, and I'll blend it with my finger. Easy! And it just brightens things up, whether I'm wearing my glasses or not. Super simple one eyeshadow look. You can, of course, mix this with different eyeshadows, but if you're either a minimalist with makeup, or you just want to try something new, or maybe you got like a quick day and you have to put your makeup on in 5 minutes, this would be something great for you. The other thing you can do with a shade like this, so it's a light and it's a shimmer, is you can use it as a luminizer to help catch that light from the sun. So you can put a little bit on the tip of your nose. See how cute? You can do it down the center of your nose. And I like to kind of blend it with my finger. You can do some on your Cupid's bow. That's that little V of your lip. You can do some on this high point of your ocular bone. So you think of the cheekbone area. You can even make it like a V or C. But if you have crow's feet right there, you might just want to stick more right to this area. And as I said, I kind of can blend with my fingers. You can use a fan brush, but see how pretty that is? And it's an eyeshadow. So I don't want you to think you have to have a million things in your makeup bag. It really comes down to just having a few basic pieces that can be, you know, your everyday stuff and multi-purpose items. And this is one of them. So as I said, even for those of you who are more, don't want the 20-step eyeshadow look, Optimistic is going to be your jam. So look how pretty. So what it does is it's catching the light. It's going to give you a more youthful glow. People are going to think you've been taking super good care of your skin, but really it's just that luminizer. Right here, it's opening up my eyes, making them super nice and bright. Let me know your thoughts if you like this look with that shade. Pop it right back in with my other eyeshadows. We're going to finish things up right here. Irishone says, may want to invest in this in case I get selected to be on camera again as a background extra. Yes! It's so simple. You know, like you can use a shade like that to pop with other eyeshadows for a really dramatic look. Or if you're just going for like the girl next door, simple, spring, fresh-faced, you can use it that way too. And that's more the everyday look that I like to have. It's just like the fresh-faced look. So I am going to take my setting spray and I'm going to set my makeup now before I do my mascara and my lips. Yes, I use that much setting spray. Once again, I am trying to see if my makeup can hold up the way that I want it to while I'm going to be doing all of this efficient stuff. Simple and makes your eyes stand out. Love it, says Rachel. Thank you so much. Friends who have to do their brows. Brows are are a really important part when it comes to your makeup and your face. My brows are naturally super thick and full. I do like to fill them in and add a bit more structure when I do fancy eyeshadow looks, but this isn't super fancy, right? So for me, just taking a spoolie and combing through, if I have a couple areas where it's been balding or my eyebrows are gray, I might just fill them in with a pencil actually. At that point, just a brow pencil. I love it because it can create short hair-like strokes, but you don't need to go hog wild. When you have a really simple eyeshadow look and you don't need to frame it, you can keep things a bit more simple. But I did want to include that because a lot of people do need to do their brows and fill them in a little bit. All right. Let's do some mascara, shall we? All right, I'm going to take my lash primer. You don't need to use lash primer, but I will tell you, and friends who are watching right now, you can chime on in. When you use it, you won't want to stop. It's so good. It takes the results from your mascara up to like the next level, and it's a deep conditioning treatment. So, yeah, I'm going to be doing this online training for a couple of hours through my company. They're doing like a talent leadership program, which has been absolutely phenomenal. I was telling a girlfriend recently, I joined my company 4 years ago to start selling makeup. I never did this before. I never did sales. I never did any of this stuff. And they didn't have programs like what they're doing right now. They're really investing in the self-development and the leadership aspects. It's just unbelievable. I wish I'd had this years ago, but on the flip side, I'm happy that I'm still getting it now. You know how you can sit there and you could be like, oh, in hindsight, if I'd known these things about me. But you have to go through your own journeys, you know, at your own time. So mine was meant to be the way it was. But any of you who are part of my team or are thinking about joining my team, you're in luck because it is so good right now. I need to get myself a new 4D. This one is on its last leg. I think it was a New Year's Eve one, so it makes sense. You know what I need to start doing is you can actually get a Sharpie or a silver or gold Sharpie for your darker colored items, and you can write the day that you open it and start using it. Because with makeup, it's not just like when the product runs out. Makeup and skincare and hair care, all this kind of stuff that you're putting on your body, it actually has an expiration date from the day you open it. So maybe you're a mascara person, but you only wear it on special occasions. Technically, if you're trying to do the right thing by your eyes, when it comes to the health of your eyes and not getting like lash mites and gross things on there, you want to realize the day that you bought it and you started using it. Even if you don't wear it every single day, 3 months from that point, you do need to get a new tube. Really nice and sparkly looking. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right, so we're taking it now on the other side. And that lash primer just really separated my lashes. It's adding all of that gorgeous volume and deep conditioning treatments. And I'm going to feel like $1,000,000. You know, I joined this makeup company and I'm not like the glamazons that I thought you needed to do to sell this stuff. I didn't know how to do things on social media. I was just like a normal Rhode Island mom who decided to give it a go. And through the process, I've gained so many great friendships. I've gained so many skills that I can now apply and utilize in my media company, or I can help other friends with. It's crazy. You know how that is? Like you learn skills through your jobs or through your experiences, and you're like, this can help me in so many other aspects of life. This is really cool. So yeah, I'm really, really enjoying it. Even with my little hobbly knee, I'm having a good day already. Makeup makes me feel better. Makeup makes me feel better. All right, so what do we think? I need a little lippy. I've been going with a bold pink lip recently. Spring, I've got my pink blush on. Don't have any fun eyeshadows on right now because I'm just doing the really simple look that I have going on. Kimberly says it looks like you put on eyeliner. Is that because of the lash primer? That is the mascara alone, Kimberly. That would be doing that. The lash primer definitely helps out with the results from it, but the 4D mascara gives a look of false eyelashes, like glue on lash strips. So it gives me that faux eyeliner look, which I appreciate because I have a bit of a saggy eyelid. So I have limited eyelid real estate to work with. And sometimes when I do an eyeliner, I get a little heavy-handed and my eyeliner gets to be like way too thick. So having this mascara that gives these results, that makes it almost look like I have eyeliner on, it's perfect. It's one less step that I have to worry about, and I know that my eyelashes stay curled all day. They just look fabulous. All right, so I'm going to do a bold lippy. You don't have to do a bold lippy. I like bold lippies, particularly when you're on video conference calls. I just think it pops. It's like, especially like I still have to wear masks, obviously, and people don't get to see my mouth that much. So I'm just going to make sure I don't have any product on my lips. Probably could take my towel, but I just use my fingers. And this is the shade Flaunty. It is a cool toned pink. When you get a cool toned pink or a red or a berry, your teeth are going to look super duper white. I didn't used to wear bold lips until I went on TV. And then I just realized how much I loved it because particularly if you're speaking, on video or at events, like it just brings attention there. It's really, really neat. I want to fix this side of my lip is a little less full than the other, so I like to overfill it a little bit with my lipstick. Just a smidge. There we go. Now I feel a lot better. It's things that nobody else would realize except me. And let's be real, I'm talking most of the time, so you can't even see that one side of my lip is naturally fuller than the other. But for me, I know it's there. And what's cool with these lipsticks, these are my matte lipsticks. So the special that I have going on this month, where you save 20%, it's blush, eyeshadow, and a lip gloss. My lip glosses haven't yet arrived. Once they are, I will definitely show you. But what's cool about these Opulence lipsticks, they're matte, so they don't have the gloss, but they last super, super, super long in the sense that it doesn't even want to come off on your mask. You just take a paper towel or a piece of tissue and you blot it a couple of times and then it's mask proof. So when you have a gloss, glosses will come off on a mask. You could still apply it once you take the mask off. You could apply it if you're at home. But matte lipsticks, once you set them, they will not come off on your mask. Rachel says, I love that pink. It would match the pink in my hair. Yay! And they do even stay under a mask, right, Rachel? It's crazy. It's so good. So by doing this, I've created just a very simple, nice canvas for my face. Nothing insane. I got that great highlight going on right there to give that youthful look to my skin. I used that same eyeshadow not only as a highlight, but also on my eyes to highlight under my brow bone. In the center of my eye above my iris, and then right there in the tear duct area to really make the eyes pop. So when I do pick up the kids from school and I have my mask on, they're still going to be looking fantastic. I've got, of course, my 4D mascara with a lash primer, making the lashes look great all day long. And then last, I added on a nice bold lippy. Going to be on my virtual meeting in a little bit, and I feel super confident right now. So thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for asking about my knee. I'll give you updates as things progress. Hopefully I can see the doctor sometime soon this week. As I said, my goal right now is I just don't want to be hobbling for the wedding on May 1st. So cross the fingers that it gets sorted out or my body continues to heal. And I hope that you all have a beautiful day. Happy Tuesday. Thanks for tuning into this Minute with Mary. Bye, guys.